everybody, and welcome back to Movie Files. Elliot here with a brand new movie review, and this time it is for Ari Aster's second feature film, and that is Midsommar. I'm a big fan of his work. I was a fan of last year's Hereditary, which I'll leave my review for that film in the description below, but I am excited to share my spoiler-free review with you all for Midsommar. Before I get into the pros, the cons, give you my score at the end of this video, I want to welcome all those that are new to Movie Files. If you haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting that notification bell so you can stay up to date with our latest movie reviews, TV reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, and giveaways. So definitely subscribe to our channel. Before I get into my review, start your commenting now. Let me know what you thought of Midsommar if you've seen it, and also which one do you like more, Midsommar or Hereditary? Let me know in the comments. With that being out of the way, let's get into this spoiler-free review for Midsommar. Alright, so jumping into this review with the positives, again, I'm just going to start off with the man behind the camera, which is Ari Aster. He is one of my favorite up-and-coming directors in Hollywood. In the realm of horror, I definitely say Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, James Wan are kind of the three leaders of the pack for me. There's definitely other directors that have done some really great work, but those are three that really stand out for me in the last couple of years, especially starting with James Wan from the Conjuring universe, Insidious, following his career, and then Jordan Peele with Get Out, and recently with Us, and now Ari Aster coming back with his second film with Midsommar, which I just thought that it was such a refreshing switch to see a director kind of switch up how we got the darker palette and the more kind of more scarier in a sense for me Hereditary film, and just switching it up with still a horror film, but definitely kind of touches on different themes in Hereditary. I love that he was able to switch up the way that the film looked. This is a gorgeous film. The way he kind of used the use of camera to create tension. And something I really appreciate about Ari Aster in these two films so far is he takes his time. He doesn't rush to a certain storyline. He doesn't rush to his conclusions as a film. He takes his time. He builds the tension, which this film does a really good job of. Yes, for some, it might not be for everyone, but I like a slow burn when it's done effectively, and I think this film does a great job of doing that, and that goes well into the writing skills of Ari Aster and also the direction of this new up-and-coming director who I'm a really big fan of, and I'm so excited to see what he does in the future. But also, not only does the director do a good job of doing all those elements I just mentioned, but he also does a great job of directing his talent. Huge fan of Florence Pugh and what I've seen her in so far. Thinking of Fighting With My Family, which I recently saw earlier this year. I was very pleasantly surprised with that film. I just had a recent watch of that. I think she's a great up-and-coming actress, and I'm excited to see her in a big tentpole blockbuster film like Black Widow next year. But I thought that she's the lead of this film, and she gives you everything. She goes from being an emotional wreck at times to being, lighthearted, having some comedic moments at times in this film. So it's an emotional gamma that we see this young lady do in this film, and I thought that she really brings it. I wouldn't say it's up to the caliber of a Toni Collette of Hereditary last year, but it's definitely one of the best performances that I've seen so far in the actress category. And I thought she really led this film, and again, not giving too much away, but her character goes through a lot of stuff from the beginning, and seeing her arc from the beginning, seeing what she goes through in the middle, and then the end of the film is just such a phenomenal arc that we get with Danny character played beautifully by Florence Pugh, but also her co-star, which again, not getting too much to the story. If you've seen the trailer, you know that her and Jack Reacher, who I'm a big fan of, or Jack Reynor, who I'm a fan of, and his work, and just seeing him kind of go from the Transformers to seeing him in these smaller films like Sing Street and this film. I think he's a great actor, and watching their kind of relationship kind of play out in front of us, how and again, not giving too much away, but just touching on the trailer, that you can see that there's a fracture in the relationship, and there's things that needs to be changed in the relationship, and I love how they kind of play that, and what we get with that relationship throughout the film is very fascinating. But again, it doesn't play out that well without the two great performances by Jack Reynor and Florence Pugh. I thought their chemistry was great. Their friends were really good. This film surprisingly has some comedic moments, which is much more of a lighter tone than when we get in Hereditary, and I thought that it played well. It mixed in well with the dark imagery and the themes that we get in this film, which I'll kind of touch on here without giving too much away. Just like Hereditary touches, it's a horror film in a sense, but it really dives deep into what, at least for me, Hereditary is more about grief and how family deals with grief. This film, again, it's a horror film. It has the understanding of a horror film, kind of the tropes of certain horror films, but doesn't really do this. It's not a slasher film. It's not a ghost film, but it definitely deals with some deeper, darker, more intimate storylines where, dealing with relationships, toxic relationships, how to deal with grief at times, how to find family, how to find acceptance, looking for acceptance, and not really knowing who you are, and building, without giving too much away, going from one relationship to another relationship without knowing who you are as a person. So this film really dives deep into a lot of different categories and a lot of different themes that I don't want to give away too much in this review. But definitely when you see it, you'll see what I'm talking about, how this is more than meets the eye. I saw this movie, Morgan and I saw this very late on Tuesday. It was like 11 o'clock. We got out of there like at 2 in the morning. I slept on it. I'm still thinking about the film, but I can definitely see what Ari Aster was going for, and I can't wait to see this film again and kind of really dive deeper into those themes. But again, going back to my pros, the performances were great, the direction was great, the look and feel, the tension that was built in this film. Again, it's not your traditional horror film per se, but horror is definitely subjective. But there's definitely some dark imagery, there's definitely some dark moments and some terrifying moments at times too, and some very gory, very surprising moments that I didn't expect in this film. So again, that bodes well to the writing and directing of this film. There are some negatives that I do have with the movie, and again, on second and third viewing, I'll see how those, if I feel the same way. But there is a little bit of pacing issues at times. Again, I love how Ari Aster takes his time and builds tension, but I thought there were some moments that could have been taken away from the film, or even replaced with some more understanding of what exactly was going on. There are some moments where I feel like the film played differently at points where you thought it was a certain kind of theme that was going on, then you get this one moment that kind of shifts things. I think that's where some people are either going to love this film or not like the film, or love the film or not love the film, and I'm kind of right in the middle where we get to switch. But overall, as a 1, 2, and 3 act, I think the film plays out well. But again, I think the pacing was a little bit off. It's almost 2.5 hours, and I think that could have been slimmed down a lot compared to what I think that should have been taken out and maybe replaced by other scenes. But all in all, I still think the Hereditary still sticks with me more in regards to what we got in the film, but this is definitely a great film by Ari Aster. Again, I'm excited to see what he brings to the screen next. He's one of the best directors in Hollywood in my eyes. I hope he sticks in the horror theme, but he's such a great director. He can do anything, in my opinion, because you can just see the craftsmanship that he puts in this film, that this guy can do anything he wants to, but I hope he sticks. Sorry about that for those technical difficulties there, but as I was saying, I hope he sticks within the horror genre, because I'm a really big fan of what he brings to the genre and just kind of what he brings to Hollywood in general. So finishing up this review, I am going to give Midsommar a solid 4.5 out of 5. Again, there's not a lot of negatives that I have to say about this film other than the pacing at times. But besides that, the film looks gorgeous. The sound, the score of the film is great. At times, it reminded me of Suspiria from Tim York's score. But I thought that the acting was great. The direction, the writing was really there. There's a lot of messages and themes behind this film. Very good acting. Again, it kept me interested throughout the entire film, even though it was 2.5 hours, which was my big complaint of the film, more or less. But I recommend you all check it. Again, it's not for everyone. I will say that's not your blockbuster type of popcorn eating horror type of film. It's a more intellectual, more thought-provoking type of film in that sense in the horror genre, and I really appreciate that by Ari Aster, and looking forward to see what he brings next. So there you have it, 4.5 out of 5 for Midsommar. Again, check out my review for Hereditary that we did. I'll leave that description of that video in the description, as well as you can click that little icon on either side of the screen there. But also on our channel now, we have a spoiler-free review for Spider-Man Far From Home. We got some new trailer reactions up there, and I will be shooting a video here shortly for Spider-Man Far From Home, the spoiler-filled review. So definitely keep an eye out for that. We will continue to do trailer reactions, unboxing, reviews for, we got season 3 of Stranger Things, so keep an eye out for that video. Thank you all for watching this review. As always, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Follow us on all of our social media accounts. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.